I was his janitor for 10 years. Tonight, I erased his bloodline. He never learned my name. He never asked. To him, I was part of the building. Like the walls. Like the floor. Something that existed only to be cleaned and ignored. Right now, he is standing in his private office at the top of the tower, staring at a screen that no longer recognizes him. The storm outside is screaming against the glass. The lights are flickering. His phone has no signal. And every system he trusted has already turned its back on him. He thinks this is a mistake. It is not. I am still wearing my janitor uniform. The same gray fabric. The same scuffed shoes. The same badge that opens doors no one ever notices. I am pushing my cart down the hallway like I have done every night for a decade. Only tonight, the building belongs to me. For 10 years, I listened. I watched. I counted. I learned his habits, his timing, his weaknesses. Powerful men talk the most when they think no one is listening. They speak freely when the person beside them is invisible. I was invisible on purpose. The storm knocks out the city grid at 9:17 p.m. Emergency power kicks in seconds later. That part works exactly as designed. What does not come back online is his access. Caspian Aethelgard refreshes his banking app for the third time. 0. Not low balance. Not restricted. Not frozen. 0. He exhales sharply and checks another account. Then another. Then the offshore one he never checks himself. That one takes longer to load. When it does, his face tightens. 0. He presses the intercom on his desk. Security. No answer. He stands and walks to the window. 50 floors below, the city is a blur of rain and broken lights. The tower sways just enough for him to feel it. This building was designed to survive earthquakes and wars. It was designed to protect men like him. It was not designed to protect them from me. I stop my cart near the executive stairwell and pretend to clean a mark on the floor. My tablet is hidden under the trash bag. The screen glows softly. The Acheron protocol is already running. I do not rush it. Rushed work leaves fingerprints. 10 years ago, my family vanished on paper before they vanished in real life. Assets seized. Names scrubbed. Records altered. By the time the courts caught up, there was nothing left to restore. Caspian funded that system. He refined it. He sold it to governments and corporations as a data correction solution. Tonight, it is correcting him. He opens his laptop and logs into the internal network. His credentials are rejected. He types them again, slower this time. Access denied. That's impossible, he says to the empty room. His voice is calm, but his body is not. His hand shakes slightly as he reaches for his phone again. No service. No internal signal either. The hurricane has turned the tower into an island. He presses the panic button under his desk. Nothing happens. I move again, slow and quiet. Cameras follow my cart and then forget it. They always do. The system flags threats, not routine. I am routine. The protocol reaches its second phase. Caspian's name begins to disappear. Not dramatically. Not all at once. Quietly. Line by line. Database by database. His birth certificate returns an error. His property titles no longer match a legal owner. His family trust lists beneficiaries that no longer exist. He tries the executive elevator. The doors stay closed. He slams his hand against the panel. Open. The elevator does not respond to voices it does not recognize. He takes the stairs. I hear him before I see him. His shoes are expensive and loud on concrete. He stops when he notices me at the landing, emptying a bin. "Hey," he says. I do not look up right away. I never do. "The elevators are down," he says. "Get security." I meet his eyes for the first time in 10 years. "They're unavailable," I say. My voice is even. Professional. Forgettable. He studies my face, searching for something familiar and finding nothing. People like him never remember faces below a certain level. "Do you know who I am?" he asks. "Yes," I say. It is the only answer he does not expect. Before he can respond, his phone vibrates once. A single notification slips through before the network collapses completely. Identity not found. He stares at the screen. "What did you do?" he asks. I push my cart past him. "Cleaned up," I say. Behind me, the first of the vultures reach the security floor and realize their access cards no longer work. The storm keeps raging. The building keeps breathing. And Caspian Aethelgard, for the first time in his life, has nowhere to go. Caspian does not follow me right away. Men like him are trained to pause, to think, to calculate. He believes this is still a situation he can control if he understands it fast enough. He is wrong. I hear him moving again a few seconds later, slower now, careful. His confidence has shifted. It is no longer solid. It is brittle. "Stop," he says. I stop. The hallway lights flicker, casting long shadows across the marble floor. Wind howls through the upper vents, a deep, hollow sound, like the building itself is listening. "Who are you?" he asks. I turn, just enough to face him. Not fully. I never give more than I need to. "I clean this floor," I say. "That's not what I meant." "I know." He steps closer. He smells expensive. Soap, leather, something sharp and artificial. The smell of money that never touches real work. "My accounts are gone," he says. "My access is gone. This building isn't responding to me." He waits for denial. For confusion. For fear. He gets none. "You should stay inside," I say. "The storm is getting worse." His jaw tightens. "You think this is funny?" "No." "Then why are you smiling?" I did not realize I was. I turn away again and start pushing my cart. He grabs the handle, stopping it. For the first time in 10 years, he touches something that belongs to me. "Listen carefully," he says. "Whatever you think you've done, you can undo it. I can make you very comfortable." This is the part where most people fail. They imagine power as something loud. Threats. Money. Violence. Real power is repetition. I gently remove his hand from the cart. I do it slowly, like correcting a child. "You don't have anything," I say. He laughs once. Short. Sharp. "I own this tower." "No," I say. "You used to." The protocol moves deeper now, crawling through archives that were never meant to be connected. Old registries. Private ledgers. Historical backups. Places where names go to sleep and wait forever. His name is being woken up and erased at the same time. He steps back, creating distance. Good instinct. Too late. "Security will fix this," he says. "They won't," I reply. "How do you know?" "Because they don't work for you anymore." That lands. He pulls his jacket tighter around himself, suddenly aware of the cold. Emergency power keeps the lights on, but not the heat. Cost-saving measure. He signed off on it himself. We move again, separately but in the same direction. Toward the core of the building. Toward the only place with direct server access left. He does not ask me to stop anymore. He walks beside me now, matching my pace. "You planned this," he says. Yes. How long? I think for a moment. 10 years, I say. Or longer. Depends where you start counting. His eyes flick down to my badge. You were here that long. I was everywhere, I say. Every floor. Every wing. Every meeting room after midnight. His mouth opens slightly, then closes. The idea is settling in. Not the details. The shape of it. The realization that his life has been leaking for years and he never noticed. You could have taken money, he says. Plenty of it. I did, I say. Just not for myself. We reach the security doors. They slide open for me without hesitation. He tries to follow. The doors close in his face. Open, he snaps. They stay closed. I turn back to him through the glass. You're not cleared, I say. That's my department. It was, I say. He presses his palm to the glass. His reflection stares back at him, distorted by cracks of light. You can't erase a person, he says. That's not how the world works. It is, I say. You taught it how. Inside the security hub, screens show cascading failures. Alerts that no one can acknowledge. Access logs filled with red. The vultures are scattered across the building now, locked out of their own systems, barking orders that go nowhere. I walk to the main console and type calmly. Caspian watches from the other side, trapped in a building that no longer recognizes him as its owner. Who sent you? He asks. No one. Who are you doing this for? I stop typing and look at him again. For balance, I say. That word scares him more than anger ever could. The protocol enters phase 3. Titles vanish. Trusts dissolve. Family trees collapse into error messages and blank spaces. Somewhere far away, a clerk in a government office will see a file fail to load and shrug. Somewhere else, a lawyer will stare at a screen and feel a quiet sense of dread without knowing why. Here, in the heart of the tower, Caspian Aethelgard begins to understand that even if he survives the night, he will not survive the morning. Caspian's hands shake slightly as he pulls up the family ledger one last time. The screen blinks. Blank. Nothing. Every name, every property, every bank account he had ever touched is gone from the system. He leans back in the chair, leather creaking, and finally notices the storm through the tall glass windows. Lightning splits the sky, illuminating the tower like a spotlight on failure. Rain lashes sideways. Wind rattles the glass. The sound is deafening, but he hears nothing inside his mind except the quiet realization that all his defenses have been stripped. He stands and moves toward the console. His voice is low, measured. You could have stopped this, he says. You didn't need to do it all. I didn't take anything, I reply. I just returned what was never yours to hold. He stops, confused. I built this. I created it. How can you erase it? Not erase, I say. Expose. He looks at me. For the first time, he sees me fully. Not a janitor, not a shadow. A person who had been invisible for a decade, who had moved quietly, studied everything, anticipated every weakness. He had underestimated how much an unseen person could understand. The lights flicker again. The hum of the backup generators becomes irregular. Somewhere below, a door slams. He spins around instinctively, expecting security to appear. But no one comes. Their clearance is gone. Their authority meaningless. He steps back from the console. His voice rises, trembling with anger and disbelief. This can't be happening. I control everything. Everything. You control what exists in a system that recognizes you, I say. When the system forgets, your control vanishes. He tries to pull out his phone again. No signal. He taps keys frantically on his laptop. Error messages. Unauthorized access. Database corrupted. Everything points to the same truth. His face pales. He realizes something he cannot fight. Something he cannot negotiate. The power he relied on, the visibility he trusted, all built on systems he assumed permanent, is gone. The Acheron protocol continues. It does not stop for panic or rage. It does not hesitate. Names collapse. Records vanish. Titles disappear. The history of a bloodline, once thought invincible, now exists only in blank spaces and error codes. He sits back, chest rising and falling rapidly. A man who never knew fear now feels it in a way money could never buy. I push my cart toward the service stairwell. The storm gusts around the building, carrying rain in from broken window seals. The doors slide open, the wind filling the hallway. "Where are you going?" he asks. His voice has lost its sharp edge. It is softer, almost defeated. "Home," I say. He watches, unable to comprehend the enormity of what has happened. He had spent his life learning to manipulate people, to control situations, to dominate outcomes. But he never studied invisibility. He never realized that knowledge and patience can be more dangerous than any army or weapon. The sound of the storm grows louder, echoing through the service stairs. I step inside, wet from the rain, cart rolling behind me, leaving nothing but absence. He stares at the empty hallway. No one follows. The systems, the security, the building itself, even the storm outside cannot restore the status quo. It is over. A faint hum comes from the servers I left running. They complete the final sweep, purging any remaining trace of his family line. By morning, there will be no evidence of their existence. A legacy of power erased without a single shot fired. Caspian rises slowly, moving to the window. He stares down at the city, which continues to live unaware. All the lights, the people, the moving cars, they do not know what has just happened in the tower above. He is a ghost in his own empire. I descend the stairs, each step deliberate, each breath calm. I am unseen, unremarkable, and gone in the way the wind is gone once it passes. The storm carries me out of the tower. I leave nothing but silence behind. Outside, the rain lashes harder. Lightning flashes, casting the streets in harsh white light. A man sits at the top of a tower he no longer owns, surrounded by systems that cannot recognize him, with nothing left of his bloodline. I am invisible. I always have been. And tonight, the invisible has won. Caspian sits alone now, the storm raging around the tower as if the world itself is mocking him. He looks at the screens one last time. Blank. 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 No ledger. No account. No name. His family, erased from history. He slumps into his chair, hands on the desk, staring at nothing. The leather under his fingers is familiar. The glass around him is strong. The building is still intact. But all the power he believed he had. Gone. Outside, the wind presses against the windows, carrying rain through cracks and gaps. Somewhere below, the city continues in ignorance, unaware of the collapse of an empire inside one tower. I walk down the stairwell, past the emergency lighting, past the flickering shadows. Each step is precise. Each breath measured. I have never been in a hurry. I do not rush. I cannot be hurried. The storm carries me down, away from him, away from the systems I have unraveled, away from the mistakes of the visible. The tape player hums softly in my cart. It is a simple machine. Harmless in appearance. Essential in function. The Acheron protocol completed its work. By now, every digital trace of the Aethelgard bloodline is gone. Even if someone searches tomorrow, the results will show nothing. Empty accounts. Non-existent titles. Forgotten names. Caspian looks up briefly, sensing motion beyond the window, but sees nothing. He is alone in a building that no longer answers to him. All his guards, all his tools, all the authority he relied on, useless. I pause for a moment at the doorway of the service exit. The wind pushes against me, rain soaking through my uniform. I do not look back. I do not smile. I do not speak. The work has been done. Words are unnecessary. Consequence speaks louder than any explanation. He tries one last time. Fingers flying over his laptop. The ledger, the registry, the backups, everywhere, errors. A man who once believed himself untouchable now has nothing. The irony is not lost on the building, on the storm, on the systems that now refuse him. I step into the stairwell fully and begin the descent, each step echoing faintly. The tower is tall. The storm is relentless. But I am steady. I am invisible. I am exact. And in this invisibility, there is power that no amount of money, violence, or arrogance can match. Caspian speaks softly, almost to himself. I don't understand. How could this happen? I do not answer. I do not need to. He already knows. Or perhaps, he will never understand. The systems, the records, the databases, the architecture of power, they do not lie. They obey the protocols. And tonight, I have taught them to obey only what is real, what is earned, and what is watched carefully. The storm lifts slightly as I reach the lower floors. Emergency doors slide open. I step out into the city. The streets are slick with rain. The wind whips past me, carrying the echoes of a man who believed he was untouchable. I move without pause. I leave no trace. By morning, the city will resume. People will notice nothing. Orders will be followed, payments processed, buildings operated. The Aethelgard Empire will seem intact on the surface. But beneath it, where records vanish and systems forget, the truth is absolute. A bloodline erased. A man humbled. And one invisible woman who walked past without being seen. I disappear into the storm. Invisible. Silent. Precise. 10 years of planning, observation, patience, and quiet work culminate in this moment. I do not look back. I do not linger. I am already elsewhere. Already unseen. Already gone. Caspian remains at the top of the tower, a figure surrounded by glass and power he no longer controls. He does not shout. He does not cry. He simply exists. A lesson in what happens when the visible ignores the invisible. The storm outside continues to rage, indifferent, impartial, unstoppable. And I am the storm within it. By the time the sun rises, the city will have forgotten. The systems will have logged errors as anomalies. The powerful will move as if nothing has changed. But in this invisible victory, the balance has shifted. And the lesson will echo silently through every building, every ledger, every record: never underestimate what cannot be seen. I disappear completely into the night, carrying nothing, leaving no signs. The tower, the empire, the man, everything he relied on, remains. But he does not. I am invisible. I am patient. I am the quiet reckoning no one ever noticed until it was too late. And tonight, the invisible wins.